Hey guys, it's good to see you. My name is Jess, and I'm happy to be here. So today I wanted to talk about 5 ways to feel less stressed today. If you keep seeing me look over here, it's because I have a little note with my the things I want to talk about. But I know that especially right now as we're dealing with COVID-19, it can be really stressful to basically just be alive, to be functioning and surviving in the atmosphere in the world that we're living in. But I have thought about 5 different ways that can really help anyone to feel less stressed starting today. And so I just want to get straight to it and tell you what these ways are. So way number 1 is to get ready in the morning. I know sometimes, especially when we don't have to go to work, there's nothing we have to do today, that it can be so easy to just stay in our pajamas all day long, to not take a shower, to just kind of mope around all day long. And while sometimes that's really nice, right, where we don't have that stress to look good or to, there's no pressure to be a certain way or look a certain way, I really know that getting ready in the morning can get ourselves off on the right foot. Or even if it's the afternoon or evening, right, if we've moped around all day long, it can still help us so much to just get up, take a shower, put on clean clothes, and just get ready for our day, because it really starts us off on the right side of the bed, kind of, and it can help motivate us to get some things done today that we know that we need to get done. Because sometimes I know, at least for me, if I'm in my pajamas all day long, that I won't be as productive as if I get ready and I feel good about myself, I feel good about the way I look, and I feel kind of ready to take on the day. So that's way number 1 is to get ready in the morning. Way number 2 is to practice mindfulness. So I'm sure all of you have heard a lot about mindfulness and what it is, and I think that there's so many different interpretations of what mindfulness is, because it's really up to us, like mindfulness mindfulness isn't there isn't a one way and it's right only that way, and if you don't do it that way, you're wrong. That's not what mindfulness is. So mindfulness really is to take a moment and to really be present with the way that we're feeling and what we're thinking and the emotions we're experiencing, to help us really to come back to the right here and right now. Sometimes it can be really easy to think about everything in the future or think about everything in the past, and we either feel guilty or stressed or nervous or frustrated or embarrassed about those things. But mindfulness is to really come back to the here and now, and to not make our minds go blank, right? Because we're thinking, feeling creatures, our minds are filled. But mindfulness is really about to take a moment and to think about those things that we're stressed about, and to center it into the here and now. So for example, if I am feeling super stressed because I'm moving to Utah in a month, and I'm just thinking about all the things I have to do, if I take a moment to be mindful about that, I close my eyes. You can do whatever you want, but I close my eyes and I think, okay, what do I need to do right now to prepare myself for that? And what is out of my control? What can I not control right now? And to just focus on the things that to just focus on the here and now, really, to bring it back to here. And so a really great way to do that, a way that I love to do that, is to think about my 5 senses, right? I start with what I can see, and I look around me, and I try and find 5 things that I can see. Then after I do the 5 things I can see, I close my eyes and I do 5 things I can hear. What are 5 things that I can hear around me? And if you can't come up with 5, that's okay. But what is something I can hear right now? I can hear the air conditioning, and I can hear the birds outside. And I have a soda over there, and I can hear the little carbonation bubbles. And so just to really tune in to what you can hear. The next one is what you can smell. And so, I can smell my candle, I can smell my perfume, I can smell, if it's a windy day, I can kind of smell the wind. And so just things like that. And then The other one is taste, but I don't really like to do taste because typically if you're practicing mindfulness, you're not like eating something. But then I do things that I feel, like touch, right? Things that I can feel in my touch. So I feel the wind from my fan blowing on my skin. I can feel that coolness, or I can feel the feeling of my hair against my skin, or I can feel I'm sitting on the floor, like I can feel my body touching the floor. So I think about those things I can feel. And then the last one that I like to do is I like to do the things that are going through my mind. I like to analyze specifically the things that I was thinking or feeling, and to just look at them from kind of an outside perspective, right? So rather than saying, I am so stressed, I feel so overwhelmed, I try, after I've done this grounding exercise, I try and think about it from an outsider perspective and think, before I started this exercise, I was feeling stressed because blank, or I was feeling overwhelmed because blank. And I try and search through my mind, through my day, through my experiences, and try and figure out why I was feeling that way. And that really helps me to just connect with the here and now and to separate myself from my emotions. I am not my emotion, right? Like, I am not stressed, I am feeling stressed. I am not sad, I am feeling sad. I am not angry, I am feeling angry. And that has been extremely helpful to me to separate those things from what I am and what I feel. My third strategy to feel less stressed today is journaling. I love, love, love journaling so much. I'll probably do like a million videos about the benefits of journaling. But I have a journal. I don't know where it is, but I love my journal. And my journal is just kind of there for me to jot down my feelings. And I have found my journal to be an extremely enlightening experience for me whenever I'm feeling stressed or anxious, or something's going on in my mind and I don't really understand it. I find that as soon as I put pen to paper and I just start writing, like, today I was feeling really stressed and I don't even know why, but here's some things that happened today. And as I'm writing those things down, I can realize some emotions that came from those experiences. Like today at work, my boss yelled at me, and that really made me feel inferior, and it really made me feel like it challenged my self-worth. And as I'm writing about those things, I'm discovering, oh, well, maybe that's where my stress is coming from. Maybe that's why I'm sad today, because of this experience. And as I'm writing those things down, it really helps me to connect with who I am, and it helps me to understand myself, my experiences, my emotions, and really how it all connects together, right? Because I believe that our soul is a combination of our body, our mind, our spirit, our heart, our emotions, right? That all of those things together make our soul. And if one of those things is out of whack, then our soul isn't balanced. And that's when we tend to struggle with happiness, is when we don't have a balanced life, when our soul isn't balanced and connected. But journaling has really helped me to combine all of those things together and to help me understand what I'm feeling, why I'm feeling it, and really how I can make it better. The next thing I want to talk about is the idea of sufficiency. So this has been something that's been on my mind a lot, and I got it from reading a book called The Gift of Imperfection by Brene Brown. She's incredible. I highly recommend her work. And so one of the ideas is the idea of sufficiency. And the way that Brene Brown explained it is ingenious, so I'm just going to share her words. So Brene Brown said that from the moment that we wake up in the morning, our first thought is, I didn't get enough sleep. And then our next thought is, I don't have enough time today. So we get up and get going, but with this idea that we just don't have enough, right? Like, I don't have enough of this, or I don't have enough of that. That's the things that are in our heart and in our mind. And that can be an awful start to the day, when from the very moment we wake up, we already don't have enough. And so what she suggested is to really challenge that feeling, and to wake up every morning and try and put a sufficient thought into your mind, which is a thought like, I got enough sleep, or the sleep I got is sufficient for my needs, and the time I have today is sufficient for my needs. I can make it work. And to think, even though I have a strained relationship with my family is sufficient for my needs. They are sufficient for my life. Or, this food isn't exactly what I want, or, I didn't really want to drink water. I wanted to drink a soda or something, right? Those are very first world problems. But to take a moment and to just say, this food is sufficient for my needs, and this water is sufficient to fill my thirst. Or, this friendship is sufficient to fill my emotional tank. And of course, there are times when we are struggling and it's not sufficient. And that's okay too, right? It's okay to have voids in our lives. And that's what we try to improve upon. But basically, when we have the idea of the things in my life are sufficient for my needs, it can really help us to create a more grateful attitude towards our experiences and the things that we have. So I have it written on my wall right next to my bed. It says, I am enough and I have enough. And I try to repeat those phrases or those mantras to myself every day, that I am enough and that I have enough today. And then the last one, way number 5, which is really important to me, is to let go of the things that are not in our control. I am a very, this sounds wrong, but I'm a very controlling person over the fact that I want to have control over everything in my life. I want to be able to make everything work the way I want it to work, and I want to know how it's going to work, and I want to be prepared, and I want to just have control over my life. And it's been really hard for me, but really enlightening for me to understand that I don't have control over everything in my life. For example, I don't have control over if this person likes me or not. I have control over my actions, over my words, over my thoughts, over the way I treat others. But in the end of the day, it's their decision whether or not they like me, right? They're going to see my thoughts and my actions and my words, and they're going to decide I like that or I don't like that. And that is up for them to decide. That's in their realm of decisions. I meet with a therapist, and the word that we like to use is in our backyard, right? That is in their backyard if they choose to like me or not. And I don't have any control over what is in their backyard because that is theirs to deal with. But I do have control over what is mine to deal with, which is my words, my thoughts, my actions. Those things are within my control. And so it's been extremely beneficial to me to try and let go of the things that I really don't have control over, right? If I'm so stressed about trying to make this person like me, when I really don't have control over if they like me or not, then it's just empty stress. It's stress that does nothing for us. It's anxiety, right? Because sometimes we stress about things that are good for us. Like I'm stressing over, the way I perform at work because that's something that I can do. It's in my control. It's in my backyard. But if I'm stressing over, what my coworker is doing, that's not beneficial because that's not in my control. I do not control my coworker and what he or she does. So really trying to let go of the things that are not in my control, or really to just think about the things I'm stressed about. Okay, I'm stressed about A, B, and C. And maybe A is in my control. I can do something about A, but B and C, it's not in my influence. I can't do anything about it. And so just thinking about that and trying to let go of B and C and really to focus on A and to focus on things that I can do something about has been really beneficial to me. So those are the 5 ways to feel less stressed today. Those are things that have really helped me recently as, we're going through COVID-19, and as I personally have been recovering from my own mental health struggle. I have anxiety and depression, and as I've been overcoming that, these things have been incredible in my recovery. And I just wanted to share that with you today and to really share that I know that there's hope and that my life has been transformed from what it was to what it is today. And that's why I'm here, is I want to share with you the wonderful things that I've been experiencing and the wonderful things that I know to be true. And if you could just give this video a like, if you could subscribe and comment any questions, any concerns you have, I'd love to chat. And I'm always looking for video suggestions on any questions you have, because I love to answer questions and I love to help in any way I can. But I really hope you enjoyed this video and these 5 ways to feel less stressed today. I'll see you next time. Bye.